Oh, come on. Hit it too soon. Welcome everybody to the A.I.P channel where anything is possible. Let me click over here and get rid of this over here behind me. Um, we are live with number 22 of Talking with Conspiracy. And today we had the great Dave is back, better than ever, hopefully.
What's up, sir?
Oh,
Good to be here.
uh, yes, sir. Thanksgiving's Eve, and we're on here doing a little podcast. So uh, we're thankful we can be here to do a podcast. Hell,
Amen. That's right.
get all kinds of
That is
cool
right.
stuff to talk about today, and some UFO stuff, and um, maybe a little touch. I'll put it on the title, like touch of World War III. Who knows? Y'all know how we are. We'll talk. We'll go anywhere and everywhere. So we'll check and make sure, double check. And I forgot to click here. Yep, live on YouTube, and it says it's hopefully Rumble live. I don't know. We'll see. Rumble chat's been kicking though. It was doing really well last week. Uh, they were
Right.
they were they were in there. So yeah, make sure I pull up. Make sure we have our case when the chat kicks off in a little bit. Once people see we're here, uh,
Yes, sir.
don't don't forget to like and share. And we're doing this every Wednesday now, 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and we're just having fun. I got a bunch of cool little videos and. Uh, We've been talking some UFO. We talked some UFOs last week, last couple of weeks. We had all the hearings and stuff and everything, and I seen where's my share button, y'all? I seen this come up. Uh, you can get your you can get your tickets to go to Contact in the Desert out there in Cali. Supposed to be a bunch of UFO. It's the Woodstock of UFOlogy. I was like, man, what the hell? But I bet be some interesting stuff talked about. Oh, Josh Gates is going to be there. If he from the Discovery Channel, he's all over everywhere, and uh, he got about 37 shows, I think now.
Yeah.
But I enjoy watching a lot of them for sure. I saw that, I was like, damn, look at that. I didn't click on nothing to see how much it was. I'm sure they're proud of it. I'm sure they're proud of it for sure. Get this over here. We do. I do have. I think I figured out how we could actually have people kind of call in per se. So if somebody's listening now, want to call in, I have a link I'll put in, and we'll give her hell. We'll try it. I ain't scared. What old Puddin said, Mama didn't raise no pump, so
That's right.
Dave, your mic is just a hair touch low, I think. I know mine's
How's
probably
that
loud
right
as
there?
hell. All right, it's a little better there.
I can
Yeah,
give it a little. I can give it a little juice right there.
a little
I'll try
juicy.
not to yell into that motherfucker.
Well, we're the calmer of the
Yeah.
three. You know, we're you and me are not too bad. Mr. Jamie, he he's the excited one for sure. Sweets is in the chat and on
Yeah.
YouTube. What's up, Sweets?
Sweets. Good evening. Hello. Welcome and greetings.
Let me there it is. Y'all got the little Twitter handle I just put on the screen there. it's Jamie's birthday. I won't say how old he is. I don't know if he wants me to say all that kind of stuff, but yeah, today's his birthday. He's enjoying it, so that's what he will not be with us today. But I don't blame him. I don't blame him one bit.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, yeah.
Happy birthday, King. That's right.
So y'all check out his Twitter
Yes.
and give him a little love. We'll leave it on there a little longer. We got yeah, we got some cool stuff. Oop, got my screen here. I got all my little bookmarks and stuff. Another thing for uh, all over the place. Sometimes having multiple screens is cool, and then other times it's you get lost. What is that time of year? And it's Krampus Krampus time of the
Holy shit.
year.
This is
Some
Jamie's
drums on his butt.
birthday present. Damn. That's
Oh,
fucking.
what would you do?
That's wild.
What would you do if you see that coming down the road?
Yeah, they're just doing their thing. I mean, I kind of jam with them a little bit, like, all right, man, you guys look fucking scary, but
Yeah, yeah,
nice little beat. They need a guitar player. I got them if they need.
yeah.
Man,
Austria's enjoying the wintertime, man. It's
they look like some
uh,
Scandinavian shit, though, like Viking or something, like some ritual or like tradition they got over there somewhere in Belgium or some
yeah.
shit. Where was it?
It's in Austria. It's called Krampus. Krampus. It's
Oh,
kind
sure.
of
After I know about the. Okay, yeah. That's so they do that, and I got you. Okay. Damn, I should probably know that. That's cool. That's badass.
I seen that today. I
That's
said, well, hell, I got to
badass.
share that. That's pretty cool. Um,
Here we go.
I wanted to show. Let's checking chats and stuff like that. I wanted to show this video. I don't agree with I don't agree with them all the time, but I agree with them here. Bill Maher's talking about, hey, don't let the politics, mess up, holidays. Spend time with your family. You don't have to talk politics. You can, you know, basically, life's too short. You're fighting with brothers or dads or something over the politics. It is what it is. Y'all can agree to disagree, and then y'all go on your way. But enjoy your time because uh, I lost a friend of mine that I've known since 2001, maybe. Found out she passed away yesterday. Only probably like 42 years old or something. I lost several friends this year, like right there in that same age group. Like you never know. It ain't promised. It is not promised tomorrow for sure.
Finally, new rule. Can we please not let politics fuck up the holidays? Anybody with me on this? I mean, half the country is moping, half can't stop gloating. Enough! It's fucking Christmas and you will act like it. 'Tis the season and all that. I don't want to read any more articles like the one about the Trump-loving county sheriff in Ohio who posted on Facebook before the election, "If you support the Democratic Party, I will not help you." Well, thank you for your service, worst responder. No wonder the side of your patrol car says to protect and swerve. Asshole. It's your job to help people, all people, not just the ones you agree with. And I would say the same to the FEMA supervisor in Florida who told the rank and file relief workers after Hurricane Milton to avoid helping homes with Trump signs on their lawns. This shit has got to stop on both sides. This is America. I want to be judged by the content of my character, not what's on my lawn. This great article that came out in the Free someone who learned this firsthand. It's called "Whatever Happens, Love Thy Neighbor." And it tells of how a married couple, who are exactly the portrait of a liberal white couple living in Park Slope, Brooklyn, that you would expect, wind up moving upstate and then are surrounded by Trumpers, and they're petrified. But then, when they get stuck in the snow, the Trump guy down the street doesn't hesitate to help dig the liberals out. The author, Larissa Phillips, says she slowly came to reject the political prejudice so common among my tribe, and that it's hard to care where someone stands on politics when they race to your house to save a dying lamb, when their wife helps search for your runaway dogs, and that she personally has been stunned by the depth of my neighbor's generosity. It's almost like there are fine people on both sides.
Yeah, that's a good one. Charlottesville, I love it. That's funny. I fuck with Bill. You know, he's had his times when he wasn't as cool, but like lately, I feel like he's found his rhythm again the last, I don't know, year or two. Like, so Bill's kind of come back around to being funny. He's moderate again, you know.
Yeah, he even said that he's like he's just leaning left, just a little off the line, a little bit. You know, he's liberal, but he's not that far. He's been talking shit. Neil deGrasse Tyson, you know, the astrophysicist, you know, he he was talking to astrophysicist. He
Yeah.
was talking to him, and he was hammering him. He actually, you know, he talked mad shit to him. He was like, you know, he was saying something about his show. He said, well, "I know you don't watch my show. You don't have to fucking, you know, fool me. That's one thing you ain't gonna do." And he went off on him talking about stuff. And then actually, at the end of the thing, I'll look it up at the end. At some point, I'll put it up here. I just thought about it though, and by the end, he was like, "I'm gonna file you as part of the problem," and stuck his file down on the side. Near the grass was like, just laughing.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Bill was serious as a heart attack. You know, he was straight faced, and I was like, "Damn."
I'm glad to, I'm glad to see people getting their chutzpah back in comedy. You know, they're kind of the front fucking line. And I'm going to tell you what, comedy and entertainment got pretty bad there for a while. Like the Summer of Love, George Floyd, all the super woke stuff before America kind of figured out it was thinly veiled, you know, Marxism, and you know all these groups were corrupt and embezzling and things like that. And it was based on division and hate. So like he just said, you know, I want to be judged by the content of my character, not what's on my fucking lawn or not my skin color, right? So like
Yeah,
shit got so woke, they moved past that. It was no longer that. It was just like, hey, if you're this race, you're part of a victim class. Got it? If you're this race, you're part of an oppressor class. Got it? And it's like, where's the fucking nuance and individuality, the rugged individualism? Like, I'm an individual, goddamn it. You know, everybody is. So you can't just lump people into a fucking group. It doesn't work. And now to see, but comedians were self-censoring. People were getting demonetized and deplatformed, and there was teeth to some of this. So we endured quite a bit of tyranny to come out of that. It is like a breath of fresh air, man. So like, fuck, there are things that are positive right now, give you a positive outlook, but there's still concerns though too, as you and I talked about before the show.
Oh yeah, I mean we're not out of the woods by no means. That a lot of people talk about like, hey, we're this is going to happen. But I was like, well, we're not there yet. Next year is going to be good. Well, we haven't even made it next year. We're still got we still got 2 months, uh, or a month and a half of chaos left of, and all the scary stuff going on over there. It could turn sideways so fast. It's absolutely scary. Especially with what's going on with
So
with whoever's running the country right now. I don't.
That's a good question,
Uh,
isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, whoever's running the country right now, and they're poking the bear over there with, uh, like with Putin actually, you know, shooting them ballistic missiles that first time ever they were used. Luckily they didn't have nuclear warheads on them. Just scary, scary stuff.
That's that little theater right there. So I saw a meme earlier that was telling people, don't celebrate the collapse or the plummeting of the ruble, the Russian currency, because like you want to make Putin, you want to make him desperate and put his back against the wall type of thing. Um,
Oh yeah.
which at this point I'm almost impervious to like war propaganda, because ever since Trump left and in 21 Putin invaded Ukraine. Did he do that in February 21 or 22? I can't remember. I think it might have been 22,
I
but
think
that's a good question. But when he did it early on in the Biden administration, ever since then the propaganda has been you know through the roof. The war machine is like on agitation alert. Buddy and I were talking about the ads. They're starting to make the fucking ads a little more aggressive and manly and shit again, a little more aggro. And like before they were getting real fucking lame and sensitive and like real pro trans and gay and stuff. Like all these ads where it was like, I grew up with two moms and all this bullshit. So like Trump's talking about like kicking everybody that's trans out of the military. In other words, the military is not going to give you free trans health care and transition care. That's not what this is for. And I guess that was the fucking ruse. That was the game, was join the military and make them pay for your tits and shit and your hormone therapies and all this bullshit and get you a ride. And and
hmm
and, and so I that ship is sailing. But here's the thing, like not that does need to change, right? But like what's the input? Like why is it already happening? So because we're on war footing, right? Like they're gearing up for something. So I'm nervous about the war stuff. Um, you got China definitely wants to move on Taiwan. Are they going to wait till January 20th? Or are they going to do that over Christmas holiday? Uh, North Korea.
that'd be that'd be
Yeah,
terrible.
North
Right
Korea.
there at Christmas and
Yeah, right. Sometime New Year's or somewhere in there. North Korea shuffling troops. Somebody was it? Did they say NATO was telling? Somebody was advising like, hey, get free of as many entanglements business wise with China and Russia as you can. In other words, like prepare. I think it was the UN, but I didn't fact check that. But I haven't had the time to just sit down and look at all this, the energy or bandwidth to just dive in right now, because it's exhausting to kind of to do the due diligence on all that. But I've been just watching the news feed and just uh, seeing the bigger picture. And there are forces that want us in a war. The military industrial complex, obviously. Remember, Trump ran in 2016 on keeping us out of the fucking forever wars, and he held up to that promise. And if he didn't have disobedient generals, he would have got us out of Afghanistan. Instead, they drug feet on that and then let Biden fumble the fuck out of that. Well, it wasn't Biden. It was the same leaders that drug their feet, then fumbled that Afghanistan withdrawal.
yeah. But
Right.
it was
So, but
18 months without nobody died at least with a.
I wonder if they're going to try to get the war going before he's in, because he was so anti-war, or he was so successful in not getting us into an, I know there were some examples. There was some Hellfire missiles going here and there, a few bunkers, but you know what I mean? For the most part, not a big ass, war in the sand. So are they going to try to kick it off before, so he has no choice but to deal with a war? We'll be seeing. We'll be seeing.
That's what they're saying.
Or
They could,
one possibility is all. I don't know. Could they use that as a reason to prevent a transition of power? Is a question.
the possibilities there now. Now they won't try any little underhanded thing they can to try to stop any kind of progress because they're stopping. Um, I've seen a lot of the what was the post earlier? I've seen so much stuff coming down. It was a bunch of the people. Let's see. I don't know if I have it on here. Oh, I'll get it in my bookmarks. Where a lot of the yeah, here it is. A lot of the for the last 24 hours, a lot of people in the cabinet. Here, let me post this. Let me put it up here. It's crazy. They're getting death threats and all kinds of shit. So the deep state ain't giving up. They don't want to. They don't want to give up.
Breaking news, the Trump Vance transition team saying that some members or potential members of the incoming administration are facing serious threats. The team issuing this statement, quote, last night and this morning, several of President Trump's cabinet nominees and administration appointees were targeted in violent, un-American threats to their lives and those who live with them. These attacks range from bomb threats to swatting. In response, law enforcement and other authorities acted quickly to ensure the safety of those who were targeted. President Trump and the entire transition team are grateful for their swift action. We'll bring you any information on this as we.
It's like
par for the course at this point. But yeah, that's so crazy. That's just it's so constant that nothing's shocking. I'm not shocked in the least. I'm like, yeah. If you were to have posed to me like, hey Dave, make you a bet you a Big Mac that there's death threats or there's not death threats on the transition team, and if you'd have posed, I'd have been like, oh, surely there is, right? Like, that's sad, but but that's not surprising. I'm looking at this transition team. So JD Vance, Vice President, obviously, Chief of Staff Susie Wiles. I won't go down a rabbit hole, but she used to work for a big lobbying firm. I don't know if I love that. Some of the clientele among that firm were Pfizer and others. I do remember that. Elise Stefanik for Ambassador to UN, Lee Zeldin, Mike Waltz, John Ratcliffe, Pete Hegseth for Secretary of Defense. That's an interesting pick. He's very young. Yeah, that's an interesting pick. Kristi Noem, Homeland Security. Fuck, it'd be nice to see Trump just dissolve. Well, I say Trump, but right, the DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, dissolve Homeland Security, TSA, fucking NSA, the big spy servers, right? Declassify 9/11 and all that. Really crush these apparatus that have been causing all this tyranny. Marco Rubio for Secretary of State. You got Tulsi and RFK, and there's more. Sean Duffy, that's a media personality, right? Secretary of Transportation. So he's going to replace Pete Buttigieg. Yeah, he's going to replace Buttigieg. And there's a few more. Everybody was making fun of the Secretary of Education, Linda McMahon. I saw a good meme that was like, nobody can read at level and we got the worst scores, blah, blah, blah. And somebody was just like, you don't have to sell me on the idea of, crushing the Department of Education. Yes, it's a shit show and it sucks. And we're going to, you don't have to sell me on it. But Linda McMahon, the rest of them, whatever. So I don't know, fucking funny, low hanging fruit for the left to make fun of her. Shit's already in the
part of
trash.
She was part of. I said she was part of some school thing. I forget what it was, but she was part of some kind of deal for like a year, and then she's part of a couple other things. So I mean, like she, yeah, she's CEO of WWE, but she's the one that run the bit, like the money wise. I think,
yeah,
and she was the one that actually. Oh yeah, she's a smart woman, and
so bad now. I say give her a shot, man. I don't. The people that have been in charge, which is far left, has been running education. They got the fucking. They got the unions. They got the Department of Education. That's just and it's thoroughly communist as fuck. And so yeah, let anybody else run it for a while.
Hey, I agree. Let's put it. I think that damn near put everything back to the state. It's the very few things are let the states vote for. How they want to do stuff. If you're think a certain direction, then okay, you go that direction with the people. Certain states to be. Let the people have the voice. Instead of having a government. Hey, this is what we got to do. Just like what they're doing with marijuana across the states. Hey, these states voted in. Hey, they got it now. If you don't, the people don't want it. For the majority, then they don't get it. It's let the states have the power. On a lot of that.
I would like to. I don't know. I'd like to see things like that. You'd like to see something, maybe even at the Supreme Court level, that says, because most of the Bill of Rights, you read it and it's negative law, right? It's negative law, meaning it tells the government what it can't do. And so, you'll see like the right to bear arms shall not be infringed. What is it telling the government? Not to infringe. Freedom of speech, press, petition, religion, and assembly, and the government cannot curb those things. So I'm going to look up the 10th Amendment. But in a nutshell, it says basically anything not covered in anything not covered in this Bill of Rights or this Constitution, as far as jurisdiction, it is by default the state's jurisdiction. Like if you don't know, that means it's the state. So like we've gotten far away from that kind of federalism and got into this overgrown fucking bureaucratic Washington that has its nose in everything it shouldn't. And so yeah, back to the states. But certain things, as was my point earlier, was I'd like to see certain protections that say, hey, like for example, my wife or somebody in law enforcement or somebody that needs to carry, they can go any state, and no state can be like, well, here it's you're not. Hey, cowboy, we're gonna lock you up or fuck you off here in our state. Same with like cannabis or something. They should just make it like beer and fucking just say, hey, this shit ain't illegal.
Yeah, they're talking about it. They're talking about. They're talking about actually doing that. They're talking about letting it, just just open it up, like for if you can carry, if you legally can carry, then you can carry across, and there's none of that. If you cross over this state line and you got a whole other set of rules. Like if you've never been there, hell, you don't know what the damn rules are. If you've always if you live down here in the South and all of a sudden you go to California or Arizona, they got different laws out there for what you can do and with your firearms and and really people got to carry something because it's gotten too crazy. It was. I was in Memphis this weekend with people running around and looking sketchy as hell and turn around and looking and look like they're about to. It looked like it's about to be a drive-by. Hell, middle of the damn. I'm like,
most of the time, the cops are coming after something has went down, man. You know what I mean? So people need to be able to defend themselves. And that's why, you know, jiu-jitsu is so appealing to us and stuff. Like, you get caught in a situation and fuck, at the very least, you can do your best you can to defend yourself, protect yourself and your family, those around you. Because yeah, it's a messed up world out there. These are great ideas. You know, one other one I was joking with somebody, but it's the more I think about it, we were talking about the NASCAR patches. Make these sons of bitches in the Senate not only have term limits, but give them fucking jackets that have every lobbyist or sponsor or donor, and have a little patch on there, just like these MMA fighters' shorts, and they make them wear hats and everything, logos.
Yeah.
You know, Johnson and Johnson, fucking Halliburton, these big companies, whoever, you know what I mean? Boeing.
Oh yeah.
And make them wear these flags. So, you know, anyway, a lot of problems,
yeah, into that.
a whole lot of things we're asking from this president. So, you know, I think that a lot of this shit is me dreaming, and I don't know that my whole big fucking, you know, libertarian patriotic wish list is gonna come true. You know, declassify all the UAP, 9/11, JFK, all of it. You know, I don't know that my wish list is going to come true, Ricky, but maybe we'll get something for Christmas. I
You
don't
know, we wish big. You know, that's how it is. You're supposed to wish big that way. You know, and
know.
I hope so. I mean, they keep on. They come up with these. Um, they come out and say the same crap over and over again. Well, we can't talk about this. We can't do this. Man, just let it go. Okay, hey, if they're pretty much they're saying that we got stuff going on. Just let the cat out of the bag. Let it run around and strut. Hell, let us see. You know, if it really is legit stuff, if it's us, whatever the hell it is, just let it on the table. I mean, they keep jerking everybody around when they have, you know, have a hearing and they're on there and they don't really say much of anything. You know, I went live on two of them and it wasn't, there was little points of, oh, yeah, that's cool. But other than that, it wasn't crap on them hearings that, you know, really, um, as a whole, there was some cool little spots, but like as a whole, you know, it is, they could say so much more, you know, and I don't know, just,
We end up
I would
trying
say,
to
let's let it go, let it rip.
speculate. I'll hear them say, I can't confirm or deny that. And in my head, I say, that's a fucking confirmation. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I interpret it. It's like, oh, you don't want to talk about it. You're kind of acknowledging it, because you won't even say like, no, that's made up. That's no, I don't know nothing about that. That sounds crazy. You won't even say that. You just like, I can't confirm it, and I can't really speak on that. So it's shady, man. Oh man, it's very frustrating. So, but that's their food. They're bird feeding us little nuggies just to drag us along. I don't know. You almost wonder if it's to bait us up for, like you said, for some kind of psyop or false flag or something silly. But that we're living in bizarro world with, you know, look, we're trusting in the brain chip guy to fucking straighten out our tyrannical government, right? This son of a bitch talks about all the fucking future robot. You know, he's got the satellite fucking grid, thousands of satellites, spy network. Like, this motherfucker is like, he's 2 steps away from a fucking Bond villain, but he lets us talk about the Jews on Twitter, so we trust him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of the funny thing. Like, nothing against my Jewish friends. I'm just being funny, colloquial. But anyway, like, the brain chip guy is now alt-right hero for patriotism and freedom and shit. So we're for a fucking wild ride, I think. But
2025 is going to be a crazy year. I mean, I know. I mean, this in the world realm, and I know for me personally, it's going to be a wild. It's going to be a wild ride for me next year. But I got some crazy stuff coming up for me personally. But
busy year. Like what? What do you got? A few things. Can you talk about any of the projects or?
maybe looking to buy some land and doing some uh, building a house
That's
and
cool.
building a new shop and building
Oh,
a
bro.
studio, podcasting studio, and making it. It's gonna be
Oh,
fun.
nice. Heck
It's
yeah. So you're going to
all
be
the little
working your
balls
butt
are
off.
yeah, all the little balls are right in a row right now. I'm trying to get the land right now. So yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
it's
That's
just
really cool,
stressful.
bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell my
For
house
sure.
and let her rip. If my parents are listening, yeah, you're gonna get told tomorrow. But yeah, I will
That's
tell them
cool,
over
bro.
Thanksgiving dinner. But yeah, I'm gonna sell my house and I'm gonna try it. The goal is to get debt free. Actually, get if I can get close enough, like because of what I owe and what my house is worth now, because the value has gone up so much, I can possibly turn around, buy this land, and put a little house and a shop and stuff on the land,
Very
and
cool.
have it
What
possibly get
what
debt
county?
free or very low. I'll still be
Okay.
where I'm at.
Okay.
It's right. I'll be outside of Coldwater.
And they're not too bad on like all the old code and getting in your business and crap as far as building and stuff. Or I mean, you can follow code. I mean, but what's the how much hassle
But
they gonna give you?
right now I'm going. I got to go through the state to find out if I can even get a septic and stuff like that. I got to get that
Okay.
cleared. And that's the key factor if I even get the land. Right now but we get that cleared up. Well, I can do that. Is pretty much once that's cleared, I get septic. Then like they don't care. And then for the little area, they said they want a minimum of 600 square feet. So which that ain't shit.
Oh man, nice. So
So I'm gonna.
I've been working on a barn dominium up in DeSoto County. Jeez, and these sons of guns, man, they're up this dude's ass. I think he done pissed him off, frankly. I've been helping
They might have.
I've been helping to like do a checklist of things that they want cleared. And so the guy was telling me that it's like a 24 or I don't, did he say two things? He said, I think he said 24, 25 or 2,600 square foot minimum to build in DeSoto County. I don't know if that's countywide. He said that and I was like, damn, but his place is huge. It's like a big barn dominium with it's like 50 by 100 shop. It's like 4,500 square foot or something crazy, this barn dominium. But he overshot the budget because he's been building on it since like right before COVID even. And everything like doubled and tripled. So it was supposed to cost him a quarter and he's over $500,000 in this place. I hope he's not watching. I'm not trying to put his business out there. I won't say his name, but
Yeah,
he's
don't say the
he's
name.
riding strong though, and he's almost got the place built. But man, they've made it a nightmare. DeSoto County made it a fucking nightmare for this guy to build. Uh, you know, so that's
Yeah,
why I asked him. But that's cool. They just want 600 square foot minimum. That's cool. That sounds like they're not going to give you a lot of hassle because nothing makes me madder than things like property taxes and code and all, and and jumping through the hoops. This is my fucking land, like, man, if a man can't be free on his land, where are you free?
yeah, it's not a big spot, like but it's got a bunch of little small trees. So I had to go through there and clear it with skid steer and level out a spot. And I get a pole and I get all the
Okay.
talk to people about getting the well put in. I got talking to people on septic. I'm talking, just all that shit. That's
Sure
shit.
thing.
That's why I was like, hell, it was easier when I bought my house than it is to do all this shit. But
Yeah.
well, yeah, my goal is probably about a 720 square foot house, something like that. I don't need much. It's just me,
You'll
and
be set up. You'll be set up nice, brother.
and then
What is it
have
going
a
to be
30
on? An
by 40
acre?
shop, about an acre,
Acre or
a
two?
little over an acre, about an acre and a half.
Okay. Cool. Heck yeah.
Just enough to get me
Heck
in trouble, and not too much so I can keep up with it.
yeah, that's right. Jeez, man. Uh
I rented 14 acres years ago, and that's just that was a full time job, just trying to keep a lot of that cut and maintained,
yeah.
and I
We're
just gave
sitting
up
on
after a while, and just cut a little section right around my shop and my camper and all that, and
oh yeah.
gave up.
We're
Got
off in the
on fire.
trees. and it's a 7-acre spot, but I keep just a little bit mowed. You know, I got patches that I've cleared, and then I keep clear. But the rest of it, I leave trees private. But you're right; it's a full-time fucking job. I was walking today, and there's trees down here and there I need to clean up, and there's leaves like you wouldn't believe, man. Jeez. But anyway, yeah. That sounds pretty nice. That's gonna be a good project. So hell, I mean, you gonna aim to get that structure built next year, or it may take you 18 months, or how long you think it'll take to do the house first and then the shop? What's the schedule?
Well, I got my priorities right. I'm gonna build a shop first.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
fuck yeah. You can sleep.
I got a, I'm gonna go, my goal is that, because I mean, I got a 12 by 24 building already. I'm gonna move it over there so I can hook power up right away. So I have a building, a structure so they can put power to it. And as long as I have like plumbing stuff, I technically it's just storage, but my plan is just to stay in it until then I get my shop built. I'm gonna put a shower and a bathroom in it. I just want to have it anyway because it's nice to, you ain't dragging, you get nasty in the shop, and you don't have to drag out shit in your house. And then of course, then I'll get the house built. But which I'm thinking about just trying to do just I found a 24 by 30 metal building, and then thought about it ain't bad. They want 5,000 for it. It's only a couple years old. Thought about just getting it, put it out there, and then I could take it and build the inside of it as the house. I had to worry about it then.
If you don't have to, if they're not sweating you on code, then that'd be badass.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only question is, will they let you live in it? And not you know what I mean? Like, are they going to come inspect and be like, no, and shit like that? So that's the question. So,
Yeah.
I guess as you get out there and start working on your shop, you're going to get a more clear idea of how they're, like the county guys are going to be a county guy from the county comes out and says, okay, cool, your septic's good to go, man. I'm satisfied. If that's all there is to it, that'd be sweet.
That's what I was told today. Like, as long as my septic's good, they don't. And then in the little area that I'm at, they got a little. They sent me a thing about it, and it's just talking about you just wanted over 600 square feet. I'm like, well, hell, I could do that. That's great.
That's
It's downsize, and that way I can keep it simple, and they just
sounds
start
like
stacking money then.
where you're at's where we need to get. Fuck. I was telling my dad, even if we were to sell this place for 3 times what we paid for it, it would what would we fucking buy? Like it'd be so, but like I think we need to go out of this county, number one, and move further south. So yeah. But we love our spot too, though. It's just we're so close to the city. Sometimes I'm nervous and I'm a paranoid motherfucker because I've seen all these apocalypse movies, and you want to get away from the fucking city, man. Jeez, they're going to implode if the grid ever goes down, or you ain't got groceries or something like that. Man,
Oh,
look out.
it's scary. My mom, my mom got me it was a bin. We met my mom and dad the other day for it was my dad's birthday, and she was like, "And mom had bought me and my brother a little plastic bin. They got some, I forget what brand it was, but it was the prepping like 25-year food, and she's like she put like I guess she put half of it mine and half of it his. Like, all right, you can fill the rest of it up." And so mom was taking it out for me and my brother, but hell, the what I thought about it within the next, if I get everything built within the next 5 years, I want to, hell, I want solar panels. I want to be able to go potentially off grid if I have to. I mean, if in case something happens, you know, you get power outages or, I mean, I
So,
lived through the '94 ice storm. Shit, 3 weeks of no power. Uh,
oh
let
yeah.
me have a backup.
So you was talking about getting that well. They make this well head that it's both it both allows you to have your electric pump like normal, but also there's a lever handle, you know what I'm saying, up top, manual. And they both are simultaneously operable. You could pump water like a spigot right there. And so if you ever did have power, let's say if your power was out and you damn 220 well pump wasn't running, you can go out there and pump fucking water. So that's something we've been wanting to upgrade to. Haven't done it yet because I'm sure it might be a little money, but you finna go in with fresh build and just something to keep in mind. That might be something that talking about prepping and just having a reliable source of water, you know, to feel
yeah, for
insured,
sure.
you know, that you're gonna have that.
Yeah, for sure. I'll sure ask them about it. They're supposed to be getting me back a quote right now. That probably Monday because the holiday week. I know I'm over here calling people this week on a short week, a short work week, trying to get quotes and stuff.
Right.
It's been, um, but yeah, I was, well, I might get it back to you today. I was like, man, it's all good. I was like, next week, then I'll start really more stressfully, trying to, get for sure, lock down some quotes and stuff like that. But, yeah, I'll sure check that out because, yeah, I mean, like I said, I was lifted in power outages of, like I said, Ice Storm 94 and shit. And I won't be able to,
Right.
People talk shit about preppers, but like still, when that stuff like that happens, then maybe, you know, I don't know if I can live extreme as some of them do, but it's good to have a little food on and like
Sure.
I could, I could, I could survive a few days for sure with not all the rice and shit I got in my pantry. That 10-pound bag of rice and
Yeah.
the peanut butter and what else I got in there? I forgot. And beans. Hell, I'll be able to live. Like I said, and then I have a source of water. Hell, yeah, I wouldn't be happy, but I'd live. Man, I love this podcast. It's just we are over. we, we are always everywhere.
That's right.
We are always everywhere. It's lovable. I love it. Uh, checking chats, make sure I ain't missing nobody. Oh, Sweet's on Rumble now. Surprised I didn't get more people pop up, but it is the day before Thanksgiving, so we appreciate anybody that's back there listening. And yeah,
The
we
others can go back and listen later.
yeah, that's it. I was talking on Joe. Is Hiker popped up? That's it.
No, I was saying he can catch up. He can catch
Oh
up
yeah,
later.
yeah. I called in on Trouble Minds the other day, and Mike Strange was bragging on us about how how well we do this. That we our banter back and forth is natural. We're not. You can tell we're not reading off no teleprompter or robots or nothing like that. We're
Right.
real down to earth. So
Just shooting the shit. Yeah.
that's it. Having fun.
Hey, that might be the secret weapon. Yeah, that might be you know. Corey, we got Jamie. He's our showman. You know, he's got pizzazz.
He does have that.
Another shout out to the birthday boy. I know he's about. I'm not. Well, you said you weren't going to tell his age. I know he's about 2 years older than me. He might. What he just turned 40. He might be as big as 40, something like that. He might be a hair
He
younger than that. Might be 39.
yeah. Yeah, so I
No, you
put
know
it back up
what?
there again. Jamie's Twitter handle. Y'all wish him a happy birthday. Uh, follow him.
Jeez.
Good old
Hell yeah.
Jamie. Yeah. Hopefully he's having fun. He
Okay.
sent me a Twitter. He sent me a message on Twitter. I'm like, what are you doing on Twitter, man? Enjoy your damn birthday. Don't worry about sending me shit on Twitter.
I'm finna give him a little. Yeah, let's see where he's at. Jamie two. Jeez, there we go.
Checking my chats.
Yeah.
I thought, show we were talking about this earlier. Go back more ADD. Um, we were talking about this before the the show started. We were talking about how there's such a flip and like a lot of people are turning face, like like the Bill Maher video we showed, and but I think somebody's nervous. They got old Zuckerberg here. Let me hide this right here when people see it.
Politico is reporting that Mark Zuckerberg was at Mar-a-Lago today meeting with President Trump. Can you confirm that?
Yes, that's correct. And Mark Zuckerberg has been very clear about his desire to be a supporter of and a participant in this change that we're seeing all around America, all around the world with this reform movement that Donald Trump is leading. Mark Zuckerberg, like so many business leaders, understand that President Trump is an agent of change, an agent of prosperity.
Right.
And so business leaders, CEOs everywhere, they want to be an element, a supporter, a booster of making our economy prosperous, delivering for American workers, and making sure that America is the most powerful, wealthiest, freest nation on the face of the earth. So we'll see what comes of that. Right. And Mark, obviously, he has his own interests, and he has his own company, and he has his own agenda, but he's made clear that he wants to support the national renewal of America under President Trump's leadership.
Good. It's good for the president. He turned the page with some talk show hosts on another channel, and he might be maybe getting over the fact that Zuckerbucks really impacted the 2020 election in those very in the battleground areas. So we'll.
Yeah, that's interesting. Very interesting.
So Stephen Miller is here, kind of. He's just okay. All right. Glazing Zuckerberg as really being behind Trump now. I mean, Zuckerberg is the newest guy that we're supposed to start trusting again, right? Like they brought him back. He was saying the FBI was leaning on him real heavy, and we know they were fucking straight up like in his facility even. So that's cool. That's cool.
Maybe he is.
Yeah, man, it's so tiresome. So and just the total inability to trust these motherfucking people. Like so shit. They fucking destroyed all credibility. This guy caved to this pressure when you're this, what, hundreds of million. He might be a billionaire. I don't know. Zuckerberg got billion. He's got billions, right? He's a billionaire.
He's got a lot. I mean,
I'm sure. You're not dumping hundreds of million into an election if you don't have billions. So this motherfucker's a billionaire, and you let the FBI bully you. You have a team of 5,800 lawyers. Like, what the fuck? Get out of here. And you could have went directly to the president because he was still the president at that time and said, hey, these motherfuckers are leaning on me. But he chose to. Anyway, that's just my take on Zuckerberg. But Miller's here glazing him, assuring us that like him and all these other business leaders are really excited about Trump's leadership. I think the motherfuckers are running scared, and they're trying to get up under his nuts a little bit so that because they think heads are about to roll. That's a take. There's you got Diddy, Epstein, you got all the people involved in Crossfire Hurricane, corrupt politicians, money laundering, fucking politicians, liars, cheaters. All these people are scared. Everybody that's dirty. So, and I'm not saying that as if I think Trump's entirely clean and innocent and all this stuff, but The point is, I think there's a lot of scared motherfuckers. Is that what you said to start that video off, or did that guy, or did the who said that these people are nervous, right?
Yeah. I think they are. I mean, Zuckerberg is worth in October when this came out on Forbes, October the 3rd, he hit 200 billion. He is the fourth richest. You got Elon, big dog Elon at 259 billion. Larry Ellison at 203. Old Jeff Bezos at 200, and now Zuckerberg is at number 4. But it did on the post. It was talking about, that it is known that Zuckerberg had been involved in rigging the 2020 elections, censoring Big Pharma during the pandemic, and and aiding peds and traffickers. And that's and now he's I think he is. I think he's nervous of what is coming, especially with the people who's coming and some of the people that's come in power. If it actually happens, and the way it should happens, then there's going to be some head that's going to roll.
The fucking ring. He was going to kiss that ring, Well, we'll see how it serves him, this gesture. Man, I'm a cynic, Ricky. Somebody was on Twitter today talking about, I can't wait for these motherfuckers to get what they got coming, and I thought to myself, I think I might even have typed it and said, nothing ever happens. These motherfuckers never go. The shit never gets declassified. The people's heads never seem to roll. There's investigations that go nowhere, and on it goes. And I guess people's attention span is too short. And also maybe the process is the punishment for some of these people. I don't know, but that seems to be all that we get. And a bunch of nothing ever happens. And so I'm cynical, and I'm kind of tired of that, but I'll be pleasantly surprised if we get something better. But
me too.
I'm from Missouri. They're gonna have to show me.
Exactly. I've used that saying a bunch of times. That really, because they've always had that, But it. I got a picture. It's what was it? It was one person reached behind. It was 3 people on the couch, and one said it was you, and then there was a Republican and Democrat, and then the one was holding hand. The Republican was holding holding hands with the Democrat behind the couch, Sean. Just faking it all, and I still say, if you go watch that movie Distinguished Gentlemen, and how all the shit that happened on that movie, like a lot of stuff at both sides and money coming from both sides. And they say it in the movie, like that's the point. That's the reason nothing happens. And let me find that. I love that clip. That's the reason nothing ever happens, because the system's built that way. Now, if they clean the system out,
right. I'm sending you something too, Ricky. I'm going to text it to you. A little diagram. I'll send it kind of with that 2-party stuff. You'll see. I'll send it to you. Maybe you can share it after the clip.
Yeah.
Holding hands behind our back. Man, that's funny.
I had to see the picture. I got it on my Facebook, but I got the Anything Possible page pulled up, so I can't actually click off of it right now. So I can't pull it up. I can send it to you. I'll find it. But this clip right here is stuck with me forever. I keep trying to click on the Riverside.
I'd like to do more money for you, but first I've got to get your positions on a few issues. Now, where are you on sugar price supports?
Sugar price supports. Where should I be, Terry?
Shit, it makes no difference to me. If you're for them, I got money for you from my sugar producers in Louisiana and Hawaii. If you're against them, I got money for you from the candy manufacturers. You pick, let's say, 4. Yeah, 4. How about putting limits on malpractice awards?
Well, you tell me.
Well, if you're for 'em, I got money from the doctors and insurance companies. If you're against them, I got money from the trial lawyers. Let's put you down as against.
Yeah, you know what? Put me down for against.
How about pizza?
Oh no, this salad's gonna be enough for me.
Not for lunch, old buddy. For pack money.
You thought I was serious? I was fucking with you.
Well, you are.
Fucking with you. I'll pull. Terry, tell me something. With all this money coming in from both sides, how could anything possibly ever get done?
It doesn't. That's the genius of the system.
That's badass. Is that from a movie? Is that a whole? There's a whole
What?
movie.
Yeah. The whole movie.
Is there a whole? Is it called The System? How have I never heard of that?
It's called it's called Distinguished Gentleman.
Just that's from.
It's
okay. Damn, I'm gonna have to watch that. That's funny.
Yeah, it's got James Garner in it. James Garner is not that if you haven't seen it, I won't ruin all of it, but yeah, he the premise that he gets in politics by name recognition because James Garner dies and he's the one that's been in office forever, so he took his middle name and his last name, put it together, and said, "Here I am." He went on. He ran on the name and won. And then yeah, it's interesting, but it's a good one. But like I said, that whole movie's always stuck with me. Like, man, they made a fucking movie and told us exactly what's going on and how things are run. Just fucking with us.
You're right.
I swear. Just fucking with us. I think Sweeps. See your picture here. I was looking. Yeah. I've seen the thing about JFK about APAC and how he was trying to. What was he? He was trying to make him something like a terrorist organization or something. Let's see. I've seen a lot of JFK videos lately. I've seen it. Man, I ain't gonna post it on here because I don't want to get in trouble again, like I've done before. But there's a video going around where they AI upscaled the JFK assassination. It is brutal, absolutely brutal. You see his head get blown the hell off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in '63, JFK was about to force APAC to register as a foreign agent, and of course,
Yeah.
November he was gone. Yeah, I had to look it up real quick. Yeah, they didn't want that. They didn't want that.
I was trying to. Yeah, and then right, what the story is? Lee Harvey Oswald, lone gunman, pulled this off, and then the plot twist: Jack Ruby, which I've read that is not his real last name. His real last name is something else. Have you heard the other name? I can't remember. Is it Rubenstein?
I heard it. Yeah, it's a real Jewish name. We'll say it that way.
Yeah. So the patsy is silenced by this, right? So it's like, oh man, it's got Mossad intel spook written all over it, right? Like so many other things. Pneumatic and stolen nuclear secrets. We always talk about USS Liberty, dancing Israelis. I don't know. They go on and on. Quotes.
It happens a lot. The more you look, the more you dig, the more you can see is like, how many times does 2 + 2 = 4 before you go, what the fuck?
Man, yeah. And then they tell you stop noticing. So that little infographic about the lobbying power of AIPAC and just how many seats they back that they got. Of course, I think they back both sides too. I'd like to see that balance, but I think they throw money so that either way they've got. Oh, there it is, right?
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
was
they're very
working on getting it
successful.
up.
AIPAC
Imagine that.
39. I thought. Wow. Yeah, so they're very successful, right? Fuck, man. They are just in it.
Yeah, it's you know,
I was looking up it's band.video, and it's kind of a subset of InfoWars or loosely associated with InfoWars or whatever, but band.video. And then I always go to look at Greg Reese. He puts these little minis together, 6-7 minute videos. So he's got one now about the Kushner is picking all of his picks, and he's got a very Zionist administration and cabinet. And so we'll see how well that plays out for America with that allegiance being so strong in the cabinet. But so Greg Reese is usually, I mean, I think he's been pretty pro-Trump, but he is right now being a fairly honest critic of some of these appointments that are being announced as we lead into the inauguration. So I haven't even watched the one. I just was curious, and I went on there. He's got a few. One is that Kushner's way too present. There's another one that I'm going to have to watch as well. But for anybody watching right now that likes cool videos but short, I don't like clicking on something that's an hour or two. I'm like, fuck, what am I even gonna? I'm not, I don't have time to watch 10 2-hour videos a day. So these little shorts are really informative. I really go to them a lot and check out just food for thought to get the wheels turning. So Greg Reese on band.video is a good resource. But he's probably controlled opposition. I hear every fucking buddy is, and the only reason we're not is because we're not that popular yet. So, and there's a truth to that, right? So fuck, like some of these big guys, I don't know. Do I trust Alex Jones, for example? I grew up on him, cut my teeth on it. He, right? Everybody fucking got down on some Alex because he was with at least 85% truth, man. Like giving you some real truth bombs. Maybe 15% bullshit. I don't know, but he's giving you so. But
yeah, I mean, he's been right more. Like Joe Rogan said that he's been right more than he's been wrong. And speaking of old Alex, Mr. Gay Frogs, you see that they're the whole lawsuit and supposedly sold his InfoWars to the Onion, and then turn around and that was all kinds of illegal stuff. Like it was a bunch of BS. Like I've seen that the Onion that didn't have the highest bid, but it was the better bid. How is that? I mean, you're in an auction. I've never been a part. I used to go to auctions when I was a kid. I've been to auctions all over the country. I've never been part of an auction where, well, you got the highest bid, but you don't win because his is a better bid. How? I've never heard of that in my life.
Me neither. That's a new one, bro. That's that common core math. What the fuck? Dude,
yeah.
What the fuck? So
2 + 4 = potato. They did. Like they were trying to kick him out that day, and then they actually stopped the stream. I forgot who was who was live at that moment. They stopped the stream and everything, but now he's back. Like they let them have it. Uh-oh. Hello.
Oh, silence this thing.
I forget. I silence mine every time, but sometimes I forget to unsilence the damn thing later. People be calling, blowing up my phone. Like, why didn't you answer? I'm like, my bad. I was podcasting, and I don't turn the summits back on. But by the time I get done here, then I got to edit videos and do all that stuff. So Uh, but yeah, it is crazy. But speaking of that JFK, I throw this on here. Oh, forgot. This guy here has some
Have
interesting
you ever
videos
wondered
also.
how we got to this point where one of the biggest lobbying groups in America can openly brag that they are representing a foreign country? This is from AIPAC's website, but somehow they don't have to register under the FARA Act as someone acting on behalf of a foreign
Right.
They literally brag about how many millions they spent and about how 98% of their buying of our politicians was successful this election cycle. Did you know that they were actually this close to having to register as a foreign agent before a certain thing happened? Here, I'll show you, and I'll show you where you can find all these primary sources too. So if you go to this URL right here, israellobby.org/AZCDOJ, it's a history of when AIPAC almost had to register as a foreign agent. And back then, they were known as the American Zionist Council. Right there, the American Zionist Council. Well, it turns out that President John F. Kennedy was about to force them to register under FARA. And this is a history of all of the original documents that pertain to the legal case. And when you click on any of these links, it'll take you to original archived sources of the actual documents from the actual testimonies that you can read. Even cool little snippets like this that say federal lawyers are near a decision on whether to require the AZC to register as an agent of the Israeli government. And back in June and July of 1963, the federal government was nearing a decision requiring the American Zionist Council registering as an agent of the Israeli government. Americans of whatever faith believe firmly that America is their country and America alone. The Zionist lawyer, Mr. Lenvin, advised that public registration would be injurious to the American Zionist Council. You might notice that the Honorable Donald Rumsfeld was involved. And as 1963 went on, it all heated up. And by October of 1963, they were saying things like forms are enclosed for the use of the American Zionist Council in registering under the Foreign Agents Registration Act. But then what happened in November of 1963?
There's a cover-up that's about to happen here.
The president who was spearheading the whole thing just suddenly wasn't there anymore. And to be clear, I would never infer that Israel had anything to do with that whole thing. I'm just saying it was really convenient timing that it happened to turn out that way. And then in December
That's all.
of 1963, we get this document. As you know, our client is not prepared to register as an agent of foreign principal or to concede that it is subject to the registration requirement. December 11th, 1963. And to this day, the single most influential big money group in Democratic electoral politics is not registered as a foreign actor. Although the U.S. Justice Department clearly states that FARA requires the registration of anyone that represents the interests of the foreign principal before any agency or official of the U.S. government. All the rest of that also applies. That's just the most obvious statement. Because if they were registered under FARA, they would have to disclose where all the money's coming from. And they don't want to. So they just don't. And that's how we wind up with screens like this. And with AIPAC openly bragging on the internet about how they pay to get candidates to win, despite their policies being clearly unpopular with regular people in America. And that's why it's so important that we stop China from subverting our democracy by controlling what we see on our social media apps. You feel me?
Oy vey. Oy vey, comrade. Too much truth. Israel, good. Friend, ally, best friend.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was a funny video. Yeah, I enjoyed that. That's awful convenient. There's been a few really bad events. 9/11 was bad, and then Netanyahu's like, well, it's pretty convenient for us. We kind of, right? I mean, it's
Yeah,
so
with
what's
the
the next
dancing.
false flag they've got in store for us? The next false flag.
Hey, I saw something interesting. Speaking of false distractions, during the Trump, not the Trump, during the Tyson Paul fight, um, at the same time as like during the Tyson Paul fight and everything, everybody's eyes were on that. The IRS failed its seventh audit in a row.
What was it?
Mhm. The IRS failed its seventh audit in a row, but no big
Oh,
deal. Yeah,
huh.
no big deal. It's gonna be okay. If we got audited
Let me come up
one
with
time, we're fucked. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, right. What the fuck?
yeah. Last year, let's see, that was from last year, sixth in a row. Where's it at? $850 billion. $850 billion. Like, come on now.
That's how that's how
If
awful they
we
are.
don't, yeah, yeah.
Sheesh.
That's the defense.
It's
That's the
almost a
Defense
trillion.
Department.
That's a fuck ton. Oh, is that where are they a subset of the Defense Department? You said the IRS.
Yeah, I did say the IRS. I had said here's the Pentagon where it failed at 7-1. Let me find the other one too. Yeah, this is interesting too. Like, they're all
Yeah.
failing their audits. They're all failing their damn audits for some reason.
Okay, I see it. Oh, fuck, a trillion.
And there's a
Man,
trillion. Let's see it. Like maybe they don't
insane.
want to
Maybe
show about
because
how
they
many
want they
times
want to
that.
do whatever.
Yeah, yeah. They don't want to talk about
So they
them.
so
Let's see
they
where.
they fucked off $1 billion 1,000 times. That's what they did. Jeez, man. That reminds you of the 2.3 trillion came up missing on September 10th, 2001.
And then it poof
It's the same thing.
poof.
They do what the fuck they want, man. They are so corrupt. Insane. Insane
You
spending.
know,
Profligate.
it's follow the money.
Gee. Man, oh man.
Oh, this is interesting right here. Let me show you this one. I'm looking for what I was seeing. I'm just hoping they start taking some of them down. Uh, they got so many different departments and crap that just overlap and just wasted money all over the place. Let's see if I had a thing talking about that
Yeah.
wasted money. Did I actually post that or no, I said, all right, here we go on Joe Rogan.
A bloated
I,
bureaucracy.
it is, you know, Absolutely.
This goes back to what we were talking about before. Like it is time to carve this government back in size and scope. It's time to take the overall, you can talk about distribution of taxes, but it's time to take the overall tax load down. It's time to take the spending down. It's time to get the government out of the position of deciding who gets money. It's time to unleash economic growth.
Uh-oh, it froze on me. Come on now.
He was on fucking point. It's time to carve this government down.
There have been years of the United States.
Yeah, 450 federal agencies and 2 new ones a year. And then my favorite twist is we have this thing called independent federal agencies. So like, for example, we have this thing called the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, CFPB, which was it's sort of Elizabeth Warren's personal agency that she gets to control. And it's an independent agency that just gets to run and do whatever it wants, right? And if you read the Constitution, like there is no such thing as an independent agency. And yet there it is.
What does her agency do?
Whatever she wants.
What does it do, though?
Basically, terrorize financial institutions, prevent fintech, prevent new competition, new startups that want to compete with the big banks.
Really?
Oh yeah, 100%.
How so?
Just by terrorizing anybody who tries to do anything new in financial services.
Can you give me an example?
Well, I guess debanking. This is where a lot of the debanking comes from. Is these agencies? So debanking is when you as either a person or your company are literally kicked out of the banking system,
like they did to Kanye.
Exactly, like they did to Kanye. My partner Ben's father has been debanked.
Really?
We had an employee who
for what?
For having the wrong politics. For saying unacceptable things under current banking regulations. Here's a great thing. Under current banking regulations, after all the reforms of the last 20 years, there's now a category called a politically exposed person, PEP. And if you are a PEP, you are required by financial regulators to kick them off of to kick them out of your bank. You're not allowed to have
if you're politically on the left?
Well, that's fine.
No,
because they're not politically exposed.
So no one on the left gets debanked.
I have not heard of a single instance of anybody on the left getting debanked.
Can you tell me what the person that you know did, what they said that got them debanked?
Oh, well, I mean, David Horowitz is a right wing, he's pro-Trump. I mean, he said all kinds of things. He's been very anti-Islamic terrorism. He's been very worried about migration, all these things.
And they debanked him for that.
Yeah, they debanked it. So you get kicked out of your bank account. You get kicked out of you can't do credit card transactions. But by the way, you can't
How is that legal?
Well, exactly. So this is the thing. And then you go in this thing of like, well, this is where the government and the companies get intertwined. Back to your fascism point, which is there's a constitutional amendment that says the government can't restrict your speech, but there's no constitutional amendment that says the government can't debank you, right? And so if they can't do the one thing, then they do the other thing, and then they don't have to debank you. They just have to put pressure on the private company banks to do it. And then the private company banks do it because they're expected to. But the government gets to say, we didn't do it. It was the private company that did it. And of course, JP Morgan can decide who they want to have as customers, of course, right? Because they're a private company. And so it's this sleight of hand that happens. So it's basically, it's a privatized sanctions regime that lets bureaucrats do to American citizens the same thing that we do to Iran.
Whoa.
Just kick you out of the financial system. And so this has been happening to all the entrepreneurs in the last 4 years. This has been happening to a lot of the fintech entrepreneurs, anybody trying to start any kind of new banking service, because they're trying to protect the big banks. And then this has been happening, by the way, also in legal fields of economic activity that they don't like. And so a lot of this started about 15 years ago with this thing called Operation Choke Point, where they decided to, as marijuana started to become legal, as prostitution started to become legal, and then guns, which there's always a fight about. Under the Obama administration, they started to debank legal marijuana businesses, escort businesses, and then gun shops, just like your gun manufacturers, and just like you're done, you're out of the banking system. And so if you're running a medical marijuana dispensary in 2012, like guess what? You're doing your business all in cash, because you literally can't get a bank account, you can't get a Visa terminal, you can't process transactions, you can't do payroll, you can't do direct deposit, you can't get insurance. Like none of that stuff you've been sanctioned, right? None of that stuff is available. And then this administration extended that concept to apply it to tech founders, crypto founders, and then just generally political opponents. So, yeah, so that's been like super pernicious.
I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, 100%. And this is called, so it was Operation Choke Point 1.0 was 15 years ago against the pot and the guns. Choke Point 2.0 is primarily against their political enemies and then to their disfavored tech startups. And it's hit the tech world like we've had like 30 founders debanked in the last 4 years. Yeah. It's been a big recurring pattern.
30.
This is one of the reasons why we ended up supporting Trump. It's like we can't live in this world. We can't live in a world where somebody starts a company that's a completely legal thing and then they literally like get sanctioned, right, and embargoed by the United States government through a completely unaccountable, by the way, no due process. None of this is written down. There's no rules. There's no court. There's no decision process. There's no appeal. Who do you appeal to, right? Like, who do you go to get your bank account back, right?
God.
You know, and then there's also the civil asset forfeiture side of it, which is right the other side, and that doesn't happen to us, but that happens to people in a lot of places now who get arrested, and all of a sudden, the state takes their money.
Yes,
Civil
that happens
forfeiture.
to people if they get pulled over and they have a large amount of cash in some states.
Right. Or, there've been, well-publicized examples of there'll be some investigation into safe deposit boxes. And the next thing you know, the feds have seized all the contents of the safe deposit boxes, and that stuff never gets returned. And so it's this, and this is when, this is when Trump says the deep state, the way we would describe it is it's administrative power. It's political power being administered, not through legislation, right? So there's no defined law that covers this. It's not through regulation. Right. There's nothing you can't go sue a regulator to fix this. It's not through any kind of court judgment. It's just raw power. It's just raw administrative power. It's the government or politicians just deciding that things are going to be a certain way, and then they just apply pressure until they get it.
So what happens to those 30 tech people that
start to go into a different field, like try to do something different and try to get
complete upending of your life.
Yeah, complete upending of your life, and try to change your life. Try to get out of try to get away from the Eye of Sauron. Try to get out of whatever zone got you into this, and keep applying for new bank accounts at different banks, and hope that at some point a bank will say, oh, okay, it's okay, we've checked it, it's now all right.
Whoa!
But there's no.
So what do they do with their money? Like, what happens?
You go to cash.
You go to cash.
You can't have a
so where do you put it?
I don't under your mattress. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
That is so insane.
Yeah,
so if someone has $30 million in the bank and they get debanked,
diamonds, art, do you, I don't know, go overseas somewhere?
Holy shit.
Yeah. It just happens. And again, it's really, really important. There's no fingerprints. Like there's no person who,
there's no stick above the strings.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It just happened. And we can trace it back because we understand exactly, we know the politicians involved, and we know how the agencies work, and we know how the pressure is applied, and we know that these banks get phone calls and so forth. And so we can loosely, we understand the flow of power as it happens. But when you're on the receiving end of this, your specific instance of it, you can't trace it back, and there's nothing you can do about it.
What are the instances? Like, what is the company? What are they trying to do, and how do they run afoul?
Well, all the crypto startups in the last basically 4 years. So remember the crypto thing got really, sort of everybody got excited, and NFTs and all that stuff, and then it just stopped.
Yeah.
And the reason it stopped is because basically every crypto founder, every crypto startup, they either got debanked.
Oh, come on.
Financial tyranny.
Yeah, and YouTube just got mad at me for showing that.
Ha. Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. Come
This
on.
stream unavailable. Come on, the Rumble Sweets. Yeah. Damn.
Get the fuck.
That's the truth. I've played it too long. I just think I could. It's on. It's not like it's, I stole it off of Twitter, and then I didn't. You see them clip videos all the time. It's crazy.
Joe Rogan, man. Yeah.
Everybody shows clips of Joe Rogan all the time.
Yeah. Well, heck, it's 10 anyway. I guess we need to do some shout outs. And
yeah, they stopped that one. Let me end the stream so everybody's trying.